Black Oni.
You're now listening to the Black Oni podcast.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Black Oni podcast. I am your host, Will Black Oni Wiggins, and I am joined today by three awesome people that we have gathered today to talk gaming, to talk life, to talk about all the good stuff in between. So, we're going to start with the person who is on my right over here, Mr. KK Osoris.
Oh, it's me? Cool. I didn't know where I was on your screen, but hey, what's going on?
Yes, and for people who are listening at home as opposed to watching, where can people go to check out some more of Yo Lovely Face?
Not really anywhere. I kind of just hang out here. So, yeah, that's it. I'm boring.
But you can find him on Twitter, and you can find him on Instagram and Twitch. He hasn't been streaming that much, but it's still there, and he actually has some stuff that were archived that were pretty awesome. So go check that stuff out. Do us that lovely favor. He is at KK Osoris. Next, we have below me, Mr. Dream Manifested.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah. Where can people go to get more of you, your lovely face?
Well, I am Dream Manifested in all ways possible. So, Instagram, Twitter, what's the other one? YouTube, Twitch.
There are no other ones.
There are no other ones. Just those two. But yeah, pretty much everything that's social media or streaming-wise, it's all Dream Manifested. So you can check me out there.
Schmexy. And we have on my bottom left, the other way, bottom right. I can't English today. It's hard. We have.
It is difficult.
It's so difficult. We have DJ Rush.
What up?
Yeah, and where can people go to get more of you?
ICARU5H at everything.
More of that lovely face with the Ica rough.
The Icaruff face. With the Icarush name. There you go.
Rough H.
That's it.
And you guys already know you're here at Black Oni, twitch.tv/Black Oni. We do these podcasts live, and then we also archive it on YouTube and iTunes so that people who aren't there live can have an opportunity to listen to the podcast wherever they may be. So there's a bunch of other podcasting apps that are out there that people can tune into. So the very first thing we'll talk about, we have, before we even get into our icebreaker, is I want to give a shout out to Sam Taylor for putting together the podcast agenda. It can be pretty time consuming to try to find the right stuff to talk about and figure out how it's all going to work out in addition to all the other stuff going on. So huge shout out to Sam for doing that. It's been really helpful.
Thanks, Sam.
Mm-hmm. And this is a really interesting question because we're at a really weird place in kind of civilization as a whole where people, when they get upset about something, tend to do things that are pretty unreasonable. Hey, JC Mac 120. Yo, we're going to give a shout out to JC Mac because he just tuned in. He has been consistently modding in the chat, even if he doesn't really have the time to do it. I don't know how he does it, but he does. He comes into my streams and he's modding and making sure no one's being disruptive, which, honestly, I've been very happy that hasn't really been a thing. So he's just been coming by and showing a lot of love to our group. So we got to give a huge shout out to JC Mac as well. But the question that I wanted to pose to you guys today was, what was one game that you received the most hate mail playing? So it doesn't have to be mail. It could just be a message or rage from other players. What is the one game that you remember like receiving just like way more aggression?
Who's going?
I mean,
I got very simple. 2K.
NBA
I get so
2K?
much hate for it. Yeah, because like I'm mainly like blasting ignorant ass music at the same time and playing with a whole bunch of people who talk shit in like gobs of insults at people at one time.
Wait, that was
talking
you?
about, like,
You insulting people?
there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of the other way. Look, if you don't know how to play, get the fuck off the court. That's all I'm saying, because you're gonna get smacked up. But yeah, either way, and I get a little bit of hate playing that, and especially when I'm blasting music and I'm getting ignorant with people. But yeah, that's about the worst I get.
So what you're saying is you bring it on yourself.
I do a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2K is 2K. So that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I assume most of the hate related to Jamail is him talking shit to everybody about how he's gonna whoop their ass in fighting games.
And I do, but I don't really receive hate. I'll say most of my hate comes from my friends, and the most recent time was me streaming Mass Effect. Like they're not really into the Mass Effect type of thing. At least watching wise, they were just ready to see some stuff blown up. And while there's plenty of that in Mass Effect, like if you missed that part, like because there was some of that in my stream, if you missed that part, you gotta wait maybe 15, 20 minutes because there's some story they gotta go first.
Oh man.
Yeah, but you maybe get to see like naked blue lady. Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
This is true. That's totally.
Jamail don't know how to play his cards like that. He ain't
Shoot, I get all of them.
I mean, to be fair, you don't really have to play your cards very hard for the blue ladies. Or,
Usually not.
in any of them.
Hey, baby, what that mouth do? And then that's it. Then you
If she
win.
was green, she would die. Come on, huh?
If she was green, she would die. What?
Oh, so now you don't remember the song?
No.
I'm blue. If I was green, I would die.
Oh, god damn it!
That's what he says.
This is what.
That's what we're gonna go with because it fits.
Oh my god.
Right.
KKosaurus, what you got?
I don't know. Most games I play, I like only talk with my friends. Like I think that like global chat is slowly disappearing. So the last time I really remember getting any weird hate was probably like Uncharted 3, where I always got paired against like 12-year-olds all the time.
All the 12-year-olds just wanted to hang out with you, man. That's all they wanted.
Fuck it.
No, they mostly just wanted to yell slurs, and that's pretty much all that happened.
That's accurate, actually. You're not
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Usually slurs that don't pertain to you.
Right.
Usually slurs that don't pertain to anyone, just strange, kind of ignorant things to yell.
Just a series of words together that are just not even a thing.
You cum basket.
Pretty much.
That's basically what you hear most.
Bro, I
of
got the
time.
best. I got the best 12-year-old insults.
I do too. I'm gonna
Yo,
refrain.
booger face, cum nose, twat waffle. I'm telling you, man,
Right.
twat waffle.
Twalawful?
No, twat
Twaffle.
waffle.
Oh, right. Okay.
They go to the Twaffle House.
It's a twaffle. It's the twaffle house.
Stupid.
That's that low grade.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think the most kind of hate mail I've gotten was probably Call of Duty, like any of the Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
And I'm not like insanely good at Call of Duty. Like I'm pretty decent, but people just get really salty when you beat them badly in that game. Like really salty, like impressively. I didn't know people could get that mad. And I get mad playing stuff. Like I get it, but come on, is it like a
Ask him about Bastion and watch him go.
Fuck that motherfucker. I fucking god fucking damn it. I hate him. I hate him. He brings out oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, we lost Jamail.
See, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens when you bring out Bastion.
That's what happens when you bring out
People
Bastion.
lose.
But look at how cute he is.
Nah,
So
man.
cute.
He is pretty.
With his little bird,
I mean,
His
the
little-
little mini
his little
chibi version is cute. But
penis
like,
face.
I still hate him.
Be cool if he could transform.
I still think he's
That would be
like
cool.
the worst thing to happen to that game.
Chibi turret.
I still just want the cat with the jetpack.
I also
Yeah.
really want that.
They need to make him.
And Doomfist. Maybe Tuesday. Rumor says
Maybe
maybe Tuesday.
Doomfist is the cat.
Yeah, this better come back in this call like right now because it's messing up my interface.
Uh-oh.
Butthole. What'd he do? He probably got cut.
He probably
Didn't
pressed
that
something
look
by
like that?
accident.
Well, there's that, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and assuming that
Nah, he totally
his internet poo-pooed.
Come on, Jamel. But yeah,
Also would like to share on the Overwatch front. That is
oh my
Reaper
god.
here.
Oh my
That is
god.
a cat Reaper.
That is amazing.
Well, I was laying in bed this morning. I may have spent like about 4 hours looking for phone wallpapers and finding other stupid stuff. Because that's
Usually
apparently what I do when I'm not feeling well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good. Oh my god.
I also found a guy who works for Riot Games, and his DeviantArt page is amazing. I got that. That'd be
Ooh,
Hondo.
Ooh.
that's really good.
I did like that.
And you know,
I like that.
oh, those are so good.
But you had a little glare. Go back to that. Go back to it. I want to see. I want to see. Yeah, there you go.
You know,
Ooh.
you know how I said I'm actually gonna put it on the beginning things.
Because Jamel. Yeah. Oh, he pressed the power strip. That's going to take like 30 seconds, 45 seconds to get back up. Just for that to get back up, not even to turn everything on. Sorry, we got a dumbass on our fucking stream. I'm going back to that, what you were saying. I would think that the most hate that you got was from yourself playing Quake. That was the most embarrassed I think I've ever seen you. You're just like, dude, I suck. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I suck. My bad. And I'm just like, oh my god, this dude is like pouring it on him. He's making himself feel worse than his record because his record's 2K. It was like 0. We were like, is this a thing? Am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to shoot? Am I supposed to jump? It was too funny. I was like, this is the most hate he's ever had, and it's from himself. No, you were doing that. Yeah, it was. You had like, what, 1 kill? 2 kills, maybe? Oh, I didn't see the 7 to 12. That's good. Yeah, that's a good one. I just saw the one where you were like, where I was telling you to start jumping more before you shot. And you were like having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to do everything coordinated. There's like a rhythm that you're supposed to use while like jumping and running, and you were kind of just like jumping and then landing and then shooting and then jumping, and it was like you had to get it almost there. I think you could get back into that. I think you could get into that game. I don't know if I get back into it. You never were into it, but I think you can get into it. An auto host. I'm checking it. Yeah, that I don't know who's seeing that, but
Pop over and see.
It's legit. It's happening.
Still up? Okay.
So
Weird.
my auto host and switch. Oh. All right. Too much. A lot of player unknown battleground. Only the best right there. Definitely. I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There we go. Been into Zelda. Black Wake is another one that's very good. I highly recommend to people. If you liked the... Well, it's not even like that. It's like, you get a pirate ship and then you have like 7, 8 people. What are you doing? Did you put a hole in your shirt?
He just froze.
And then he froze. And that's a great pose for him to freeze in too. Just Loaded.
What is happening?
Right?
My life even.
He's totally out of it again. Oh, there he is. All right, here we go.
And right here, it just takes the box for Xfinity now, as you know, is huge as shit.
It's mad big.
So it takes forever for it to reboot itself.
Oh, the whole power shift. So even your internet was out. God damn.
Yeah. That sounds about right. But anyways, yeah. So Player Unknown, Black Wake. Highly recommend Black Wake. If you don't know what Black Wake is, it's just pirates versus colonials, I guess, and you just have to do like 8 people on a ship. Everybody's got a different function. Captain's pretty, has to be communicating and shit, but it's pretty cool. If you have a PC that can run, high-end graphic games, then I highly recommend it. It's kind of like Guns of Icarus, if anybody's played that. But yeah, so Black Wake, Zelda, Mario Kart, 2K.
I played Guns of Icarus.
Persona. You did play it. No, you didn't play Guns with me. That was a good game, though.
Nah, I'm just being silly.
But yeah, that's been my selection of games I've been going hard on.
Nice. What about you, Dream Manifested?
Shoot, what have I been playing? I've been playing Tekken Tag.
Of course.
Because I got to make sure my
Naturally.
thumbs and fingers are ready for Tekken 6 June 2nd, or Tekken 7 June 2nd, excuse me.
6. You better update your internet.
Better hit the time machine, boy.
And I've really just been playing that. Still playing Siege, rank mode, quest to get to Diamond.
So tell me a little bit about Siege. I haven't played in a little while, but I feel like I want to get back into it.
Well, I mean, Siege is good. Siege is actually, they're actually really good about making sure they do updates. So, first season they release so many number of operatives or whatever to use. This most recent time, though, they pushed that back to actually roll out patchwork so that they could fix any bugs they have. And a lot of people were up in arms about that.
Yeah, the bugs have just been ridiculous, so that's why.
There's been the only thing that we really experienced, like that was the most annoying, was when there was one where people were experiencing like a black screen when they play.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was annoying. But that's really the main thing that we've experienced. Anything else is like, it's on the internet. We're kind of, you expect a little bit of foolishness every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I like Siege. Siege is great, especially when you have a team to play with, people that are actually going to talk and communicate.
Yeah, that's a thing. You gotta have
That's a big thing. Yeah.
Because a lot of people will go on there and not talk, or if they do talk, like I was actually watching another streamer playing, and she went into, I think it was a ranked match, but she didn't have a party. She was waiting for people to get on, so she got into a party, and it was literally like a room full of 8-year-olds just like yelling in each other's ears. And she had the most patience I've ever seen a streamer have. She was just like, oh, it's okay. Go this way. Let's do this. She was like their mom. And I was just like, what is happening? How are you this like calm when these like children screaming in our ears?
Exactly. So speaking wise, like just to talk about the difference between Siege and maybe like a Call of Duty, like in Call of Duty, it's very repetitive. Oh, blue building, like, Siege is like this, like, okay, they up in this corner, all right, cool, how y'all want to do, what y'all want to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a lot of, like, we're not as tactical as maybe like a real team. We don't synchronize doors and then window explosions.
See, that's why you fucked up.
3, 2, 1,
no.
breach.
We be whipping that ass now. Don't get it twisted. But
are you going to be streaming that? That's the real question.
No, I stream that from time to time.
Yeah, and then you stream, but you don't have anybody else's voice coming through, so all you hear is
no one can hear anyone else talking.
Yeah, I know.
It really depends on what platform, whether I stream through the Xbox or through my laptop or whatever have you. And like I said, right now I'm trying to be out of here within the next month, so be moving in with my homeboy, have a room and then a dedicated room for like an office to have the game and like a desk set up for productivity and streaming and such. Mm-hmm. So then, things will be much more frequent and organized, and it's all about organization. Mm. I'm not organized right now.
I know the feels.
Story of, all of our lives, it sounds.
Right. KKsaurus, what you been playing?
I've been playing a ton of Overwatch because it's pretty much what I play with friends, but by friends, I pretty much just mean Alec because everybody else has moved on. And a ton of Persona. So I'm about to finish up Persona 5 today, probably.
Nice.
Depending on how long the secret final chapter is, so it probably won't be today because it's always longer than you expect. But that game's phenomenal. Also, can't stream it because it can't stream it.
You can't stream where you are. Yeah, there's a cap or whatever on. I think it's the November 11th is the last day you can stream on the calendar of Persona.
Yeah, and you can't stream from the PlayStation at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. They did. They blocked the whole thing still.
Yep.
That's crazy.
No, wait. Did they change that? I thought they changed that.
Nope. No screenshots, no sharing.
You can.
Nothing.
It's still you can. You just had they pushed the date back.
Yeah.
Still, fuck them. Yeah. Fuck Atlas. Fuck you, motherfuckers.
I still appreciate it. So
it's a great
and
game.
It's still one of the best games. So.
Yeah, I heard nothing but great things about it, so I think I'm gonna eventually get around to doing it. I might just do it. I might just stream it anyway, even though I know it's not gonna be good that I do it. I might just do it anyway because, fuck that. But I'm probably gonna wait to get it though, just because I have my backlog and everything else that's going on right now. I just gotta probably not buy any more games for a little while.
Man, I still gotta get the latest Tales game in Nier. So, and that's definitely on the back. I haven't even.
Tales of Berseria is like $30 on Amazon right now. Yeah. And I'll give people at home the link to it so you guys can also check it out.
It was mad cheap on the store too recently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
PlayStation Store, yeah.
It was like $40 or something like that?
Yeah, but I still have unopened games from Christmas that I haven't even touched.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I completely forgot I even have any.
Delivering same day? It's Sunday. They can't do same day, but it's definitely.
Don't
if
doubt.
You're around the corner from them, they can.
Don't doubt their ability to get it to you same day.
And click.
This boy.
Clickety click.
Well, the podcast buying a game.
So I just sent you guys an Amazon affiliate link. You can absolutely help the channel out if you want to click on that and buy it. Otherwise, you can always just buy it whenever you want. But $30 for Tales of Berseria. I heard good stuff about the story. So a lot of people
say that this is the best one, actually.
Yeah?
The best Tales?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Did you ever play
Last Guardian's
Tales of
$30.
Legendia? Yeah, but Last Guardian blows.
Does it?
I have it. It sucks.
What sucks about it?
It wasn't a good game.
I mean, you got to be descriptive.
Shadow of the Colossus was a good game. This was not. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it other than the dog bird thing sucks dick. He's not smart at all.
I mean, I kind of had a feeling when it got delayed for an extra 5 years that it wasn't going to be very good.
Yeah, well, there's that, right?
It's always funny. You think the delay would make it better.
Nah.
That they at least would have worked on the fucking AI for the dog bird thing. Jesus Christ, this thing sucks. He's constantly like, should I jump? Should I jump? And you're like, fucking jump already! I've been standing here for 20 fucking minutes!
Yeah, I heard about that.
So the question I have, Shadow of the Colossus, because I never did play that one. That's something that's...
Oh my god,
that is actually there's combat in that game, right?
Yeah. It's
and to my understanding, there's not a whole lot of combat in Last Guardian,
right? Yes and no. So what the hell was the first game called? Do you remember, Will?
Eco.
Yes. So Eco was more of a guidance-based game. You're just kind of dragging along this bitch to different platforms and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow of the Colossus was 15 bosses, nothing else. Just 15 bosses you had to kill, figure out how to kill. And then this game is kind of like a happy medium of both. Only thing is that, again, the AI
doesn't play well.
Yeah, it doesn't play well. That's the problem. There is a little bit of action in it, in the fact that the bird dog has to save you from things that are trying to take you, and I don't remember what it is. It's something like you have special powers and shit that the dog and you somehow combine to make, and they try and take the shit from you that helps you communicate with the dog. They're weird statue dudes. They just grab you and then take you and try and walk you over to this spot so that they can kind of kill you, I guess. but like you just have to like struggle and get out of it, and that's how you like run away from them. But yeah, the bird dog swipes them and knocks them off and shit, kills them. But
Yeah.
outside of that, it's a lot of indirect combat, and again, wildly overrated from the start. I never looked at that game and said this might be something. I always thought it's the Shadow of the Colossus, the next game from that guy. So I'm gonna just ignore everything about it, and then hopefully it'll be good when I get it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of along the lines that I was gonna go, only because like, again, this is just a bunch of hearsay. Oh my God, Shadow of the Colossus is so great. So I said, shoot, I missed this one. Let me jump on this next one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was immediately met with like sad faces. I was like, oh, well, I'm glad I saved that little $60.
Right.
Do yourself a favor, play Shadow of the Colossus. It's a 1,000 times better game.
Shadow of the Colossus, call it a day, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it's an amazing and beautiful game. If you don't like it by the end of the first guy, I mean, then just stop. But it's an amazing game. And if you get past that first boss and you don't love it, then you have no fucking soul. That's the bottom line.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. Kev, have you played the damn game? Have
Not
you played
in years.
Shadow of the Colossus? All right, but if you recall, there was amazing music. There was amazing graphics for the PS2. I think it was a PS2 game. Amazing graphics, amazing sound, amazing like lighting. Everything was just fucking way like, I don't know, ahead of its time. I mean, the game was very well done.
For sure.
And then there was that whole thing of like everybody had this thing where like they wanted to get all the way up to the top of the tower where the god rays are coming down from that are talking to you in that game. And like people actually did it, and there's just like a Garden of Eden up top that nobody was supposed to get to, and it's just crazy, like shit like that. People have literally scoured every inch of that game, and if you play it, then you'll realize that there's a lot of open space. Like that's where Zelda Breath of the Wild got its formula from. Was from Shadow of the Colossus. Well,
I believe it.
That open space formula.
Right. Right on. So. We're going to transition into the rest of the podcast now that we've kind of discussed what we've been playing. And hopefully people at home have also been chiming into what they've been playing. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely leave some comments down below. And if you are watching now on Twitch, feel free to answer. We already got Gravy Biscuits talking about Marvel Heroes Omega.
Oh, man, I have that.
Yeah.
I forgot that I was playing that.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, people in the chat, feel free to put that in there. We'll also address that and give you a little shout out there. In terms of the kind of meat of today's podcast, is kind of pertaining to some of the fighting game stuff because there's been a lot of news and interesting stuff going on with fighting games lately. So, what keeps you in the fighting game? So, this pertains to whether it's presentation or story or specific aspects of a gameplay, lasting appeal. What some of us have different experiences with fighting games than others. What's one of the things that keeps you coming back to a fighting game?
Kev?
I like stories. I like a good story mode, especially when you can when you've got a regular story and like an arcade mode with like different endings. And I'm also a sucker for collectibles. Give me a way to earn stuff as I play, and I will play forever. That's why I'm still playing Overwatch. Mm-hmm. I don't play that to actually beat people. I play it because I want to see people dance and I want new skins.
You're not wrong, dude. Like, I'm totally with you on that. Like, give people something to work towards that they don't necessarily have to spend more money to do.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. What about you, Dream Manifested?
Well, I mean, for the most part, the biggest thing that I care about in a fighting game is its mechanics. Mm-hmm. I like there to be a degree of difficulty so that you feel a sense of mastery, mm-hmm. and that I like there to be a skill gap. I like skill gap. I think there should be skill gap, and I don't like when games, especially fighting games, try to appease the masses by removing the skill gap. Of course you want everybody to play, mm-hmm. but even still, so let's say we'll take a Tekken for instance, or a Guilty Gear, any Street Fighter. There are plenty. We'll take Street Fighter because that's one of the most well-known games as well. So if you take Street Fighter, you have people that don't play nearly on a level of Evo, but they still enjoy it. They play around. You play with your friends, and everybody's throwing out Hadokens and all that crap, and you have fun. Yeah. Then you have the division from that to people who play competitively, and then you have competitive and then Evo competitive. Mm-hmm. There are, however, certain games like Tekken, just to to compare the two. Tekken is one of the most the top selling fighting games that there is, and I would say that there is a skill gap. However, I don't believe that most newcomers or the casual gamers enjoy Tekken as much as I would say a Street Fighter.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's definitely one of the highest selling fighting games, and it's definitely not as. It's weird though, because there's so many people who have actually played Tekken at this point because it's been around for so long. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, still casuals who are just kind of picking the game up to have a little fun will get frustrated very easily. Right.
And it's funny though, because there's a lot of people that I know, or that when I post something, if I post something on Instagram, they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember Tekken. That was my jump back in Tekken 3." Like Tekken 3, it's been so many iterations since then. So
Tekken 4.
What was it that stopped you from playing? Street Fighter lends itself to, like I said, to the couch aspect of friends over. I think Tekken has that as well. But if you were to take Street Fighter Online versus Tekken Online, it's much more likely, and I know this will toot your horn, it'll make you happy, but it is much more likely in Tekken, if you take it online, that you really might not even be playing. You'll just be watching until the round is over.
Yeah,
and it happens like that. That still happens to me.
That's literally most of the experiences I've seen in Tekken 7.
Fair.
Or not Tekken 7 specifically, just Tekken in general. And I just I feel like I have the ability to understand and conform to an aspect like that. And like I genuinely, we'll talk about this more too. Like I genuinely want to play Tekken 7. I want to play this game. But I know that aspect of the mechanics will frustrate the fuck out of me. Even if I get good at doing it myself, like I hate it. Well,
it's not as bad this time around.
Yeah, I've noticed
because they removed the bound. So a lot of times, the bound was when you hit an enemy with something that's a downward attack, they'll just bounce back up and you continue your carry chain or whatever. At this point, when you hit someone downward, it's knocks them flat. So you might get another one hit out of it, like just a low kick or something like that. But it's nothing that's going to continue your chain. There is a chain as far as like there's certain attacks that you'll have where they'll kind of fly backwards and land on their back with their legs up, which just give you enough time to get over there. But like I said, there's no extra bound. And I think that's one of the reasons maybe that if they are debating, because there's some people on Twitter that I talk to regularly, like, I think Bruce is coming back. But if there is a debate, I think that if without bound, I think Bruce might be OP. I'm not gonna lie. Bruce probably would be pretty OP if there is no bound.
Yeah.
Because his outright carry is crazy anyway.
It is crazy. I'm showing people at home Eliza, who I like very much because she has the horns and she reminds me of the horny Oni concept. So I was just like, dude, I love this.
I thought it was the other thing.
I mean,
which is rumored, by the way.
It's rumored. I haven't seen anything about it. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'm more than happy to say it.
What are y'all talking about?
So apparently Eliza is a vampire. So you're seeing her on screen, and she has an ability to suck your blood. And
No, not what you're about to say.
And rumor has it, if you suck the opponent's blood,
oh no,
her boobs get bigger.
Japanese people.
I've not seen any proof of this, but I'm intrigued.
But Lucky Chloe couldn't make it though.
Lucky Japanese.
You said what?
People.
This can come through. Like Americans are like that, but they don't like Lucky Chloe.
They don't like Lucky Chloe?
That's why we're not getting Lucky Chloe.
Are you serious? See,
you probably could get it with download, but we can't. I don't think we're getting Lucky Chloe, at least unless that's changed. When Tekken 7 was first announced, like I think this was last year. There was a few articles saying that Harada or whatever his name is, we're not getting Lucky Chloe.
Wow. Wow.
because
So there's gonna be a whole character that we don't get because people outrage about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be damned.
I'm not surprised. Like, I get it.
I'm surprised that. Well, no, I'm not surprised by this, but when you said that Tekken has less appeal than Street Fighter, it still kind of takes me back because Tekken, to me, has always been the superior fighting game.
I agree.
It's very surprising. I like Marvel vs. Capcom better than both of them, but Tekken is definite. That's just a bias because I like superheroes. But Tekken has always been my favorite, like, straight up fighter.
I think it ties back to like the number. Like, I'm not surprised by it, and again, like, I totally understand why you would like Tekken more than Street Fighter. Like, it's more technical.
Yeah,
it's more technical, and it's more involved. Like, it's an entire different plane that you're allowed to kind of explore. It's less about projectiles. It's more about, in your face, bouncing and juggling and like wall bang, et cetera, et cetera.
Sidestep and yeah.
Yes.
Well, my favorite characters, and this puts it in a little perspective for you guys. But my favorite characters were always like Eddie and Christy, and the fluidity of their combos and the way that just like how like they'll be doing one thing and it'll mesh into another thing. I don't know. That was something that I never really got from Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. It always felt a little bit too mechanical with Street Fighter, like. You're doing a Hadouken, and then you're doing an uppercut, and then you're doing a fucking spinny kick, and then you're doing, you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to do as many different moves at once. Like, with Tekken, it always felt like there was a methodology to the fighting.
Well, I'll say this, because I've been playing Street Fighter a lot. It's really easy to see that on the surface, to say, obviously, the thing you want to do is try to do special moves, and that's pretty much the basis of what you're going to do, but the thing with Street Fighter is it's more important to know how to do well your normals. Normals and regular combos that go into special moves are much more important in that game in the long run than actually just pulling off the special moves, the Hadoukens, the Shoryukens. Like,
sure. Especially
with the Shoryuken in Street Fighter V, like if you do that, you keep doing it, you can get punished way harder than any other Street Fighter game. And that's, I think that's another reason why people like Street Fighter as a game more so than Tekken, is that its mechanics are very simple to understand. But like if you spend time like actually understanding the behind the scenes of it, then like it opens up entirely new possibilities for you. Whereas with Tekken, that's definitely true as well. Like you can just go through the game button mashing if you want, but your options. Say that again.
Especially with Eddie and Chrissy, the capital.
100%, 100%. But you're definitely. There's, like you were saying, Jamil, there's a huge skill gap for people who like really know what they're doing and people who kind of know what they're doing. Like even myself, like I'm pretty seasoned in fighting games. Like I have a pretty good understanding of what I'm doing, but even that skill gap between that and like people who know every 10-hit combo is huge. Yeah. It's huge.
Now, one thing I wanted to say before we moved on to the next game is in terms of like the popularity between Street Fighter and Tekken. I would think that Street Fighter also has, or had at least, outside of the game itself, a wider reach in the West.
For which one?
Street Fighter.
Yeah, right.
Because you had the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude them in it.
Terrible.
That was awful.
Little cartoons and
Abortion.
Yeah, cartoons and movies. Yeah.
So they had a larger reach to get people interested, and then, like you said, just the simplicity of the basic moves and being able to pick it up and do that. But I think,
one thing we have to shout out Injustice because it just came out.
Oh, we're definitely about to talk about that right now.
Oh well, my bad. So go back a second though. Then if we're gonna talk about that in a minute, I always thought that. I don't understand how Street Fighter is the most popular, because with that justification that you just said, Jamil, Mortal Kombat should be the biggest fucking fighter in the United States.
It's had.
If you think about it, it had the cartoon, it had the movies, it had the action games, it had so many different things on top of just the fighting game.
I can tell you why, just right off the bat.
Whoopsie.
Mortal Kombat has had a lot of bad games, and in addition to that, their last Mortal Kombat X, for example, Street Fighter V, when it came out, had its own set of issues. Mortal Kombat, like, you literally couldn't play the game online without experiencing, like, straight up Nightcrawler teleportation. Like, there was a time, like, for 2 months straight, it was like that.
Yeah, I got into it right after that. I was like, oh, it seems smooth to me.
Oh my god.
Will was complaining about this shit for so long, and I'm like here like
I sold the game back. I never do that.
Did you really?
I legit never sell games back. It was so bad. I was just like, I can't have fun playing this game.
But see, this is where you and Jamail, Will and Jamail, this is good, this disparity, because I'm with Kev and what he said earlier, and that I love story modes.
Me too.
And that's my big thing. Fuck, I got some Watch ESPN app thing on my TV came up, my bad. So random. I didn't even hit anything. I am with Kev because my big thing is, like, just putting Injustice 2 aside for a second. Injustice 1, Mortal Kombat, let's just focus on those two. Had great stories to me. Street Fighter had a shit story to me. 5. That wasn't really a story, though. But
are you talking about the little prelude stories, or are you talking about the actual story mode?
Nah, the story that came out like 8 months after the game was released.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't groundbreaking.
Yeah, I wasn't really all that into it. I wasn't into that. I've never really been into the whole, which it's fine. I understand the dynamic about it is interesting, I guess. But what Jamil was kind of briefly alluding to earlier with the whole individual stories, or that might have been Kev that was saying that, but the individual stories like Tekken, how you have like an individual story for each of the characters. Mm-hmm. I always thought that those could have just been more. It's sort of like with Twisted Metal, for instance, how Twisted Metal, you're always like, some of those characters, you're like, oh, I wish this was like a full-length movie. Like Sweet Tooth, anything with Sweet Tooth was always like, dude, I wish this was a fucking movie. Like, this would have been crazy. But it's the same thing with Tekken. It's the same thing with Street Fighter. Those individual stories I've never been a huge fan of. It would be nice to have something along the lines of what you guys were saying, which is if we have a story and we have those individual things, that would be great. But I feel like that's asking a lot from them to create a full-length story and then have individuals on top of it. That might be too much money.
It's a lot, but I think it's doable, especially like fighting games. There's only really so much that you need to do in order to make the game, like, you get the mechanics down, you get the characters down, you do the polish, and then you figure out what other content you could put in there. And like a game like Street Fighter V could have easily done that, and they didn't. Like, they did like their prelude little concept art cutscenes before matches, and that was just terrible. Right. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That was terrible. But, we have, Injustice 2, we just talking about. We have Tekken 7, Guilty Gear XR, Rev 2, Marvel Infinite on the horizon. We have all these fucking fighting games that are coming out. That's, like, really exciting. I want to ask you, Kev, if of all those games, because you mentioned before some of the things that keeps you in the fighting game, and one of those things was kind of like unlockable content and stuff to kind of keep you invested in seeing more of what the game can do. Are there any of those games that we just listed that you're interested in?
I mean, I was interested in Injustice because the first one was pretty great, but I then noticed that you need to pay like $100 to actually even get all the characters.
Go ahead, continue. My bad.
I immediately lost a bit of interest there. So I'm still going to check it out. I'm probably just going to wait until it's a bit cheaper. Because paying $60 for a game and then paying like
for the DLC
a
characters,
shitload more money to actually get DLC characters, but like a lot of day one DLC characters.
Dark side.
Yeah, like I don't know. It'd be one thing if they seemed a little bit more niche. So I don't know. It also doesn't seem like there's much unlockable in game. It seems like it's a lot of buy to unlock. So. I don't know. The Marvel one looks interesting. I still need to see more, but yeah.
I want to talk about Injustice 2.
Go for it.
All right. Because I was really excited about that game. I got it last Tuesday or Wednesday morning, and then I beat it in a day. The story is awesome. To dispel a little bit of what you're saying, Kev, there are unlockables. in a way where there's like battle packs or not battle packs. What's the thing that goes into Cyborg? The mother box. So they have like mother boxes that are kind of like loot boxes and shit like that in Overwatch that get you different appearances, which is pretty fucking cool. Also, Darkseid is the only character that you have to pay for that at the gate if you really want all of them. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Darkseid in that game anyways, so I haven't even bought him. You can also buy Brainiac, but if you just beat the story mode, you unlock him, so there's no point in doing that. And the story mode, again, is fucking amazing. That's the thing that I love about Injustice, and as you said, the first game was amazing. The first game was fucking awesome for the story.
It was great.
Second game is just as badass. The things that I love about it more than anything are the fact that like extra skins become story characters. So like for instance, Flash and Reverse Flash have a fight, but Reverse Flash is just a skin for Flash.
That's cool.
So which is it Jamail is better than the fucking show. That's all I'm gonna say. Reverse Flash.
So
the game fight between Flash and Reverse Flash is way better than what the show showed. Legit. It is so much better. It's fucking incredible. Like he just does some crazy shit to him. They've been fucking each other up like crazy in that. But yeah, so that's really cool. Like Cyborg has a different skin that turns out to be a story character called Grid, like which you can unlock with I don't know, some fucking iPhone app or some shit. But yeah, in the story he's got a separate character that comes out of him called Grid, and it's pretty dope because like, you know, even him like the whole justification is he didn't have any thought process behind leaving Cyborg until he was separated from him, and then he's like, "Oh, you're obsolete, so fuck you, I'm gonna kill you." And that's like basically how stuff like that happens in the game. It's just really fucking cool. The transitions and some of the stuff that you do, like Superman fighting Supergirl in the story, is pretty intense. Like Batman versus Superman is absolutely bonkers. Like just how the whole thing goes. I mean, I don't want to get into too much detail of the story because I really want people to like enjoy it. It's kind of one of those like you know how it's gonna go, but for the most part, one of the coolest things was just Batman and Superman having conversations about like one specific thing was really crazy that doesn't ruin anything. There was a moment where Batman and Superman are talking and they're like, Batman says something like, I miss the old days when we used to be able to just talk to each other. And, oh no, he says, do you remember when you told me that Lois was pregnant? And then Superman's like, yeah, you knew before I even told you. And he goes, yeah, I miss those days. Those were simpler. And then Superman's like, yeah, me too. And then all of a sudden he just comes smack dab in Batman's face and punches the shit out of him. So it was just this crazy moment of just like, I don't know. Honestly, Injustice is a vastly superior story to anything else that DC is putting out right now. And those type of moments, you're just like, dude, this is really fucking intense. Like Batman having a fight with Superman in that moment and just
Martha.
Yeah, Martha. It was so much better than Martha. So much better than Martha. But yeah, that moment alone was just like, just the fact that like they had that sombering moment of like, oh shit, like these dudes had a history together. And then Superman's just like, yeah, no, but right back into it, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And this is basically how the whole thing went down. So it's just, so highly recommend it. But I, like Kev said, I would wait until it's about $40 because it'll be worth it at about 40.
Yeah, I want to get the Ultimate Edition of that because I got when that Starfire's coming to it, and I would love to play with Starfire because I think she's a really cool character. Giggity.
Which one is Starfire? Because you kept saying that, and I don't know who this character is at all.
Starfire is Nightwing's girlfriend.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I don't know her.
Did you ever watch the Teen Titans?
I did, but I didn't really watch a lot of it. The old one, and I don't remember any of it.
She was the one flying around shooting green lasers and punching people.
Wait, oh no, that's Raven. I'm thinking of. Oh, okay, yeah, the one that's older in the new.
The one that is the one that isn't Raven.
The one that isn't Raven, right?
The ginger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I didn't know that was her. All right, I got it now. Now I'm caught up.
She's
yeah,
awesome.
she is in there. Yeah, I got her coming. I guess Sub-Zero and her and somebody else. Oh, that's the other thing. Damian is Nightwing in this, so that's also pretty fucking cool.
No, I thought Damian was Robin in that.
Damian is Robin in that. and then Damian becomes Nightwing.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
So story mode is just bonkers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler
It's not
alert.
really a spoiler because like he's
Most
the only
comic
one
games,
there.
though.
He's the only one there.
he's
Damian
never-
is that's it. There is no other Nightwing. There's no Dick Grayson. Nothing
That is a spoiler.
Dick died in the first game.
That's definitely a
Didn't-
spoiler.
Well, if it was a spoiled, it is now.
No, but isn't Dick dead from the first game? I think Dick dies in the first game. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure he dies in the first game. And Damian was always the main character for this one. But yeah, that was pretty fucking cool.
So Tekken 7 may be Game of the Year, but Injustice 2 may win it as far as popularity. Yeah, man, people are really digging Injustice 2.
Because the story's solid.
Yeah, man, people do care about a story mode. Like, I was really shocked that Street Fighter V launched without a proper story mode. Like, I adore Street Fighter, but like, I was dumbfounded by it. I was just like, how? Every other Street Fighter game that came before this had at least some type of story mode or arcade mode or something to kind of get you invested in the characters. Like, what is this?
But the fact that like they say it's coming and then it took them almost a year to put out, like that's the part that annoys me the most. Is like because I remember you said right from the start,
I think, or June. So
it was months. Let's say
let's
give it benefit of the doubt. It was still months, plural.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
It was still one of those things where you're like, this is crazy. They're telling me it's an unfinished game and that it'll be ready in months from now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's kind of unacceptable. That's the part that made me more upset about that game than anything.
Well, I can appreciate Mortal Kombat, the most recent Mortal Kombat and Injustice games off their graphics and story.
Mm-hmm.
But as a fighting game enthusiast, I would like to call myself. I'm not really a fan too much of the mechanics, and at this point, like Marvel's Capcom has projectiles and such, but it's just I don't know what it is. It's just the style of the play of Marvel's Capcom versus these other two.
Mm-hmm.
It's just annoying. Like,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's just annoying in these two verses, and more like this is to be expected in this kind of stuff. So almost everybody has some sort of projectile in Marvel's Capcom, whereas it's not necessarily the same. And so there's, if someone wants to play that projectile game with you in Marvel's Capcom, all right, fine. We're gonna both be on the outside of the screen throwing stuff back and forth, whatever. But in this one, it's like Alien and Mortal Kombat. Oh my god, Alien is such hacks. It's ridiculous.
Yo, he is ridiculous hacks between him and Ed. Not Ed.
Ed Boon?
Not Ed Boon. The cowboy. I forgot his name.
Oh, Arrow Black. That's my dude, though.
Yeah.
Both
but
of
I don't
the
play
characters are
using the
cute
objectives though. Like I don't play using the projectiles though when I use him.
You saw Sonic Fox doing that work? What? Gross.
Shoot, Arrow Black, and I do like Baracho. And see, I haven't played my friends because they do beat me in that. Mm-hmm. But that's because I'm still trying to like there. I will say there is an element to Marvel Kombat where you can get you a nice little combo string going, and
absolutely.
It's freaking hard.
It's hard.
So they're like, "Yeah, won't you come on and play?" I'll be like, "Look,
chill."
And when I decide, when I ask you to play, you're not gonna want to play then."
Yeah, right. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom is the worst for juggling. The worst. You're talking about watching a match. Like, I've done nothing but when I play my friends in Marvel vs. Capcom. They're way too good at that shit. I don't play them. I gave up on that a long time ago.
Yeah, he's not. Marvel's Capcom 3 was the worst with that. Yeah.
2 and 3, it didn't matter with these kids. Like, they're just that fucking good at Marvel vs. Capcom. But that's besides the point. Yeah, that game is very easily one of the trolliest games.
I feel like that should never be possible. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm on the fence about Marvel vs. Capcom. It shouldn't be possible to do that. Like,
yeah, so let me ask you guys, do you think this one is going to be more towards 2, the new one? Is it going to be more towards the quality of 2 or the quality of 3?
I think 2 overall. Because it's going to
2 with 3's graphics.
Yeah, it's going to have graphics that aren't even like 3. It's going to be different. It's going to be more 3D rendered, but like
Street Fighter 5 style, like ink.
Yeah, no, it's more close to close to Street Fighter 5 than it is to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because like 3 had like a very stylized cell shading to it.
Yeah,
this doesn't. Which is it's fine. But I wanted to ask you guys actually, when you do play fighting games, what's your way of your preferred way of playing?
Like this, with the fingers on top of the controller.
Oh yeah?
No.
Oh, I was like, if that's legit what you do, then I noticed.
No, I don't know how you could hold the controller that way. How do you do that? Do you just do this and then do that?
The move, and then your index fingers. It really just depends on what type of game I'm playing or the character. Tekken, I definitely play like that. Like except for when I play King. Like when I play King, I have to switch if I want to do like the grab combos.
Fuck him.
Just because to select buttons or whatever.
Look at that little lion dude.
Yeah.
But
Cheated.
Guilty Gear. I can't remember Guilty Gear. I feel like Guilty Gear you could probably get by with using your thumbs. I can't. Remember. I just know it was tearing. That D-pad was tearing my other thumb up though.
Yo, it was. I remember we were playing. You were just like, I can't. My thumb.
Yeah.
Well,
I play Injustice. I play Injustice pretty weird. I play with the D-pad and the joystick at the same time. Yeah. Because the D-pad is easier to do sprints and to do the basic attacks.
Yeah.
And then the joystick is like infinitely easier to use for combos and for special attacks and shit. So like if I'm far away from somebody, I'm using the D-pad and getting up close and using standard attacks. And then when I'm there, that's when I'll switch over to the joystick and start doing specials.
That's pretty cool.
So that's a very weird one for me. I've never done that before this game.
I don't really pay attention. I just kind of play. I think I mostly still stick with the D-pad, just from force of habit. But I couldn't even tell you. Like, I don't even pay attention.
Yeah, you just do whatever kind of happens.
Whatever's natural moment, I guess.
I never use a stick for fighting games unless it's actually a fight stick.
Okay, so that's the next question. Like, do
you guys have them?
I have a fight stick, but I'll talk about that after you guys kind of touch on your experiences with a fight stick or controller.
I've never had one, so.
Did you ever play it at arcades, and did you like ever get good at arcades with the stick, arcade stick?
Yes, and then no.
So you did play at arcades, but you weren't good. I'm right with you. I was never good at using the arcade sticks when I was actually in arcades. It's like, how do you do this?
There was no control over the joystick part. Like the thing felt too stuck.
It was very loose.
Yeah.
See, and that's where, and to be honest, the arcade is kind of where I fell in love with fighting games, especially Marvel vs. Capcom. Because,
definitely
I can remember a summer, when we were moving to Georgia and I was staying with my sister and the little church camp we were going to, like, oftentimes we went to the skate rink. Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel like skating, so I just...
You Atlanta, Georgia ass motherfucker over here.
This is in Tennessee. Shut up.
I don't give a shit. You Atlanta.
We would go and, I didn't feel like skating, so I just sat on the arcade and I'd get my stuff going.
Like busting your ass.
Make them right. But that to say that I would love to have one. I just didn't want to spend $150 when I knew I wasn't necessarily trying to go to a tournament. Like, there's you want to be really good, but like when you play your friends mostly at this particular time, I didn't have my own, so I wasn't playing online. You don't need the fight stick. Like, I'm not going to lug over my fight stick just to play against my friends. I'm not going to do that.
I am now.
Asshole. But that said, if you do get a fight stick, the progression of skill is you're going to decrease first.
Yeah.
Because you have to readjust to all the usage and the button press. But once you get the movement down, then it's going to be better. Because, fight stick is just much better for spacing and movement. And that's really the thing. Like, you can, most of the time you can tell when a player, especially on Tekken, you can tell when a player is using a fight stick. Like, certain characters do have wave dashes. Like some of the Mishimas, Heihachi or Kazuya. Like me, people actually most recently, I just had a message on Tekken after I got done beating somebody. But he was like, "Do you use a fight stick or controller?" Controller. Don't worry about this. I just got calluses on my thumb. That's okay. But for Guilty Gear, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. You need a fight stick. I'm not dealing with that.
Guilty Gear?
Yes, you need a fight stick.
You don't need it, but it's helpful. But again, I've always told people,
if you don't want to be trash, I don't like being in the middle on a fighting game.
I have a thing in the middle on anything.
I don't, but That's neither here nor there. The point is, like, for other games, like, it's not like, oh my god, I'm playing Call of Duty, let me go buy a gun peripheral. I don't need that. But for guilty,
I think that's the only thing, though, right? Like, the only peripheral that you would really, truly 100% need as a gamer is a fight stick.
Yeah.
back when I used to.
I mean, think about what else there is.
Yeah, I always had a joystick.
There are certain games that are just like, there are certain combos in Guilty Gear, for example, that like you can do it with a controller, but because like I know there's one where you have to do like with like what's his name?
Like we have to do the Z's.
Yeah.
Well, not just the Z's, but because these can be kind of tricky on a fight stick too. Like movement on fight sticks are kind of iffy, at least for me. But like there's certain moves that like require you to do like a quarter circle attack, and then you press like a button right after that, and then you press R1 right after that. And because your hands are already on the controller like this, doing all that and then R1, this muscle right here kind of gets strained. But on a fight stick, it's literally just like you can literally slide your finger.
Yeah, true. And that's what the fight sticks are always good for, is just making the combos and shit easier to pull off. So that's what I mean is like, name another game that you need a peripheral for outside of like the fucking Guitar Hero and shit before somebody says that and I slapped him for it.
Hero.
Yeah, right. But like legitimately, like there isn't, I mean, airplane games and air fighter jet games and shit like that, you don't need a flight stick for because joysticks work just as good.
Well, because you're using a joystick.
It's already built in, sure, I guess, but that's the same thing, same concept for fighting though.
Using a real joystick, I always
say again.
For games, I always use a real joystick. Always.
What do you mean by real joystick?
As in, not the joystick handle on the controller, an actual joystick. That's what a joystick is.
The flight stick
for flight sim games and shit like that, for fighter.
Yeah.
So like if you were playing a Battlefield, for instance, and you were in a plane, you have to sit there and swap.
I gotta swap it out, baby. No, man, I'm talking about for fighter jet games.
Yeah, sure.
Things like that.
Like an Ace Combat.
That's what I said. Ace Combat, Agile World, all those I use joysticks. For a lot of the racing games, I use the steering wheel peripheral. Yeah.
You got a wheel?
Yeah.
Bro, these wheels are too fucking expensive. I spent like $180.
I'm OG in this gaming thing. Come on now.
I mean, I got a Logitech wheel right there. It's got the force feedback and everything. I just don't have the thing for it. The stand.
Oh.
I'm using some ghetto.
So
that's crazy.
Right.
I really don't know many
boring.
people. Do you guys? Yeah, but like Kevin will. Like, have you guys used any other type of peripherals before?
I mean, I played some Dance Dance Revolution for a while.
I told you that doesn't count.
But no. And like PlayStation VR is a peripheral.
That's true.
Peripheral.
That's true.
But you need that. That's like you can't play VR games without the VR thing, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, you can.
I'm not
on your
even
TV generally.
It's just not gonna work.
Oh yeah, I get it. No, it'll work. It'll just be split in two and look retarded.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah, it kind of looks weird.
That's funny.
Because the whole thing with VR and 3D is it takes two images and then does this with it a whole bunch of times.
Yep.
But yeah.
For me, I've used like a driving stick a long time ago, and I was terrible with it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm good.
Well, most up north people can't drive anyway.
So you're absolutely right about that. I can drive, but a lot of people cannot. Let's just make that distinction right away.
But even for the perspective of like, you don't need them to play these types of games, right? Like with fighting games, it almost feels like it's a necessity at times.
I would only say that for certain ones.
Unless you want like
it just helps a lot. Like I said, I didn't need it for Tekken. I don't need
it. But like
you get his ass whooping Tekken with or without it, it's fine.
I got him. I was gonna say you're an abnormal like gamer for that. Like you're actually good compared to most people who are playing Tekken. Like you're involved on the percentile. So shut the fuck up. Your ass is trash.
Mufasa. Ooh.
We'll move ourselves.
You remember Mufasa got his ass thrown off a cliff, so just remember that.
Well,
He had a shitty ass brother.
Speaking of getting thrown off of cliffs, how do you juggle? Off the cliff. How do you juggle learning the ropes of a fighting game while not becoming frustrated by initial losses? And I think this is a
question for Jamil.
It's a good question for everybody because it's one of the reasons why some people stop playing fighting games.
Every fighting game.
So what is that experience like for you then? Now you have some experience with that, and you say every fighting game. Let's start with you, Rush.
Shit.
Yeah, put you on the spot.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't really play a ton of fighting games like that. Like I'm not like I'll play them for a little while and then you know what? All right. So basically, when I stop playing fighting games, when I hit the button for the online match and then hit like quit or anything like that, then I go, okay, I'm gonna quit because these people are way better. It's like when I used to get on like Tony Hawk Pro Skater and then you'd like back in the PS2 and shit. And then you get on and you'd be sitting there and the timer would end. And then like basically in that game, like the timer would end. And then the last trick you did, that was it. Then you had to sit there and wait for that last trick to go for everybody, right? And then you'd be sitting there for 10 minutes and somebody would be fucking, you know, manuals and grinds and all this shit and just be taking up forever, right? Like when you go online on a fighting game, it's the same thing. You sit there and you're like, all right, I think I'm all right at this game. And then you get in, you get your ass pummeled 15 times, and it's just like, all right, I enjoyed the story. That was great.
Yeah, I'm the same. Fighting games are fun, like in limited amounts for me. I'll play through a story mode. I'll play with friends, and then that's pretty much it because I don't have the time to devote to them, and they take a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
If I had friends around, like my thing was in college, we played Tekken Tag 2, I think. But anyways, like that game, you know, we played fighting games back in college when I had people around that were into that. But like, unless you have people around you that are into fighting games, it's really hard to get into it.
Yeah.
In that kind of capacity. Online gaming is you just have too many professionals and people who are gonna whoop your ass real quick.
Right.
Just doesn't feel fun a lot of times.
For me, I'm with you guys in a lot of those ways, but kind of the inherent fighting game fan in me was just like, I just need to play some more fighting games because, like, you know, certain games I just really, really enjoy playing, and I play them online, and you know, I'll get my ass whipped by somebody, but then I'll turn around and destroy someone else. So sometimes you get this really kind of cool feeling. It's hard though, because when you're trying to learn a game, one of the ways, like, Jamel can probably speak to this really well because he was we kind of went through this with Guilty Gear for a little while.
Because he was a weak ass sucker at a game.
I'll let him speak on that.
So I mean, really, you just have to be willing to take your losses. So that's gonna come, especially when it's any game that you're picking up for the first time. Because, like I said, Will was experiencing Guilty Gear, and when we first played each other, he was whooping my ass, and it was getting on my nerves. So I had to take the time, learn some stuff, so that could be a challenge. I could get me some W's in. Now my stamina was bad, like I said, because my thumb was hurt. But
yeah,
I mean,
poor thumb.
That's what any fight game. Tekken 6 especially. So the evolution of Bruce. You know, me and my homeboys played Tekken 6 all the time, and I wanted to be good with Bruce. Like I could get a W, but I only knew certain things. I didn't know how to juggle, and it took the longest time to like figure out, oh, that's how you do that. And it took, so that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm really not a fan of Bruce not being in Tekken 7 is because it was such a long journey to bring Bruce from where I was with him in Tekken 6 to Tekken Tag 2. Mm-hmm. And that's with a lot of the fighting games. It's really, you really do have to take a moment, and it might sound stupid who wants to spend time on a video game, but go to the practice mode, look through the command list, at least understand, like, you don't even have to use everything, but just your brain needs to know that subconsciously that these are other things, you know, other attacks that you can do. Then after a while, you start seeing, like, if you get somebody close to the wall, like when you're carrying somebody, oh, if I do this particular attack, they might put them on the wall, like in Tekken Tag 2, where it has a bounce.
God,
you do carry
Tekken Tag 2 was terrible with that, dude.
You do the, like, you carry them for a while, and if you can splat them on the wall, now you can do a bound. Now you've increased that combo 4
exponentially.
More. Exactly. now that they're on the wall, you've done 4 or 5 hits more just on the combo alone. Now, while you're doing that, you have time to think about, okay, as soon as I finish this, is he going to try to tag crash? If so, I can do a move that's going to scoop the person jumping in. If not, I can, you can pick and choose. Okay, if I go, he might be expecting me to do a series of low attacks. So I might do one low attack and go mid or something like that. And that's where I like the strategy and the chess and the back and forth of fighting games, is because there's, especially if there's high, low, mid, even if I'm playing against somebody and they have me in the corner, I still have the opportunity to anticipate what they're going to do and then turn the tide.
Right.
And you're not going to get to that level at all. You're not going to have, and I find that fun. I find that a rush. And you're never going to get that by just playing the occasional, play with your friends. Nobody really knows what's going on. Nobody's taking it to practice. And it's really kind of, it's all dependent about what you want in the game and what your surrounding cast. So we all want it to be good. We all wanted to be able to kick each other's asses. That's what it was. And we had a lot of pride within each other, within our circles. Like, nah, I'm gonna be better than you. So when we found out someone else has some new combo, whoa, I haven't seen that combo before. You in the practice mode? No, we all got to go to practice mode. That's kind of how it grew for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I used to play with my brother a lot, and he used to be like really good at using Law, for example. He just went in. I would lose him like all the time. And then I just started getting good at it because I just wanted to win. I wanted to beat him.
You get tired of getting your ass whooped.
So I guess we've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but we'll just kind of go around talking about just say your favorite fighting game, and then we'll move on to the next thing, which is in the stuff and junk section of the podcast. So yeah, favorite fighting game. I'll go with Tekken. Is there a particular one that's your favorite?
Yeah, you got to give a particular one. Because you're way too deep into that series to not give us your favorite.
I'll probably say Tekken Tag 2, to be honest. That is currently my favorite one. It's the newest one. I mean, it is very rewarding. Like the sounds of the game, when you catch somebody with a counter move, a counter hit, like just the sounds of like it's rewarding. I like it a lot. That's my favorite. You can't change me.
Kev, what's your fave?
I'm probably gonna go with Mortal Kombat just for nostalgia alone. Like Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3. I don't know.
I like 3. It was complicated though.
Yeah, I also really dug the last one. The last one was actually really fun. So
X.
Yeah.
There were things I really liked about it, and there were things that I was surprised at. Fucking goddamn it.
I did really like the Mortal Kombat and Super Smash Brothers mashup that somebody made. That video, that was delightful. So you see like Mario coming up to Pikachu and like stepping on his head and crushing his skull. It's pretty fun.
I think Smash is probably my number 2.
Which one?
Smash.
Melee.
Yeah.
Smash is good too.
Yeah, Smash.
Actually, I might change my answer. I think that's probably the answer.
Yeah, it has to be Smash now. I didn't want to count that.
Terrible at Smash because Smash is just so random. Like,
I don't know.
like
The Wii U version is pretty hard. You get fucked up in that game.
Yeah, but even if you're terrible, there's still always just enough randomness going on that like.
Yeah, you get dodge.
You can still win.
Dodge Gohan.
Dodge Gohan.
Definitely. I am gonna have to say Tekken cross Street Fighter, not Street Fighter cross Tekken. I'm talking about the one that didn't come out because I'm seeing you motherfuckers. You didn't make my game. I wanted that game.
Yeah.
I don't even care about that game anymore.
I see. That's how much I'm pissed off about that shit. That I got to that point and then I still am mad. Right? Like, I fucking wanted that game so bad.
They need to stop playing.
I wanted the Tekken one. I didn't want the Street Fighter one. The Street Fighter one was alright, but no, Marvel vs. Capcom specifically those.
Yeah. Street Fighter for me is my favorite. The favorite franchise. I think I have the most memories of playing 4, but I like 5 mechanically more. So Street Fighter 5 is my favorite fighting game right now. And I think that does it for the gaming section. The next thing I want to talk about, just to kind of give people an idea of some of the other stuff that we talk about in any given day, regular stuff. What's going on in our lives. This is also a section where we have dedicated for questions. So if people have questions that they want to pose in chat pertaining to like topics, we can absolutely address some of those.
Somebody brought up DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat. I forgot about that game, and I was going to say something about it earlier, and then I completely forgot. So shout outs to that game.
I remember not liking it.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty interesting. They needed to put more blood in it, though. That was bullshit. And like actual fucking fatalities.
Mm-hmm. But I wanted to ask you guys, since we're all kind of experiencing this in one way or another, talk about work, gaming, life balance. What has balancing your passions been like this past year? We can just go with the year, essentially. We haven't really been talking about that much on the cast. And what challenges do you face? And I can kick off this part of the discussion very easily, because I was supposed to have a podcast on Friday, Chocolate Thunder podcast, and I was falling asleep at the computer before the cast started. And this entire week I'd actually only been getting about 4 to 4.5 hours of sleep per night.
That's not good.
And I've been doing that consistently for like the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I had some drinks that day with my landlord. We were just kind of talking about what was going on in life and stuff. And I came upstairs. I was like, all right, we're going to do this podcast. And I felt myself falling asleep. I was like, let me just take a quick nap. I set my alarm. And I didn't wake up until about 10 o'clock. And the cast was supposed to start at 8:30. And I woke up like sweating, like visibly drenched in sweat. Because I think my body realized I was supposed to be up, but it couldn't get up. Like, I physically could not get up. And
you're not making the laughing better. Just a heads up. Sorry.
No, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, I wanted to talk about this because this is something that I've been pushing myself really hard to the point where I literally knew I had to get up but couldn't. What has that been like for you guys? Like, what are some experiences that you've kind of faced with trying to balance? Like, what we're doing here is literally just a passion project. We're doing this because we enjoy talking about games or creating content about games or playing and kind of having an audience with us while we play. We do this because we love it, not because of anything else. How do you balance it?
Well, personally, and I think I speak to it just because I have been on somewhat of a hiatus because of the recent move from Twitch and YouTube, and I feel like that's always been a thing. But I'm always on a hiatus because life happens. I got a lot of stuff in life going on. Because while, as you said, this is a passion project, this is ultimately something I want to get into. But you got to have money, and you have to develop a certain skill, and you also have to have money to save up and say, okay, now I'm gonna take this jump. I'm gonna embark on this journey. Mm-hmm. And so right now, one of the things I've had to do, and since moving back, and this is one of the reasons I want to move back, is to get better acquainted with my circle of friends that are productive, as well as entrepreneurs. And now I've also decided to invest in myself by taking graphic design lessons. So that's me, because this is my money. So now I had to spend my money on it. So this is something, okay, now I have a structure to help me put my foot into the creative realm.
Taking it serious.
Exactly. At first, it's self-teaching, which is good and fine. But I found that in just trying to teach myself things, which has worked, I haven't been as committed. It's been so,
yeah.
But now that I've decided to take the lessons and writing down plans, and also using a vision board.
Good.
Reading certain things. So the book, I would say, has been very helpful. I haven't finished it yet. Is Making Ideas Happen.
Oh,
just tell me about that. Yeah.
Yes, and it's about, and it's pretty much. I kick your ass. That's what I can. But So one thing that as creatives, that we're very unorganized. We could be very unorganized.
If y'all can see my living room right now,
And at times we relish in being unorganized because that's just I gotta have everything everywhere to bring
to
in
see
my
it
creative,
all, yeah.
right, to see it all. You can't see the mess because it's mess, but I don't see it as mess. It's all my ideas coming together, and the book is pretty much saying that while this is true, if you get yourself locked into that thinking, you're never really going to be able to put your best foot forward. It's about being able to organize the confusion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that one of the things that the whole point is because if he pinpoints certain very lucrative companies and successful businesses, while they are creative, they have been very organized and systematic with certain approaches to bring their ideas to fruition and how they attack these ideas. And that's really what the book is about helping you to develop formulas and a formulaic approach to your unkemptness of ideas. And so that's why that's
a good way of putting it.
So yeah. My absence is because I hope to have a larger presence in the future.
Yeah. So you're kind of getting everything ready.
Of course. Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, I've been kind of absent for a while. I switched jobs a couple times. For a while, I was trying to do everything. I was teaching, working another job, writing, editing, freelancing, still trying to see every friend I had, and I was sleeping like you are, like 3 hours a night, and I was just miserable and realized I couldn't do it anymore. Like I wasn't healthy. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to focus and figure out a good way to budget my time. Right now, I'm also working a job where I don't have anything even close to resembling a normal schedule. Like I work weekends and nights a lot. So I'm trying to balance friends, which is why I've also been playing a lot less video games and a lot more games I can play like at a table with friends. So Dungeons and Dragons, a whole bunch of tabletop games, just because it lets me do two things at once. Because there's really nothing like actually having people in the same room as you.
Yeah,
no, there isn't.
I've also come to realize that I'm not the type of person who does well at having like 10 plus close friends and then like 15 other friends that I see all the time. I don't know. I'm at my best when I see the same 4 people like every week. So it's been a lot of self-realization. So still on the job search, looking at some other stuff and trying to balance them.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally know what that's like, man. What are you looking for a job? In case anyone out there is listening and is interested, because Kev's been with us for a long time. He's got a lot of really excellent skills that can be of use.
So I taught college classes for a while. I still do. I've worked as an event coordinator. Currently working in retail, exploring some options there, but I also just got licensed to be a high school English teacher, so I'm applying for those jobs.
Do you think you would prefer that over you were an adjunct professor, right?
Yeah, I went to college just because I was hoping for a higher level of learning, but right now the market is kind of stuck, and there really isn't much room for advancement, so I'm teaching freshman English and getting paid next to nothing with no job security. So it was time to figure things out.
I feel you.
So high school would be fun. It'd be nice to have a steady schedule, have at least a few students that are interested, summers off, all of that.
For you.
What about you, Grush?
I am broke. Just got let go of my job. My car broke down 5 times. I didn't get my refund for like a month and a half. And my unemployment checks are on fucking hold. So, I'm having a great time these days. No, honestly, I don't really have the same problems that everybody else does about like balancing all this shit. I just get lazy and don't want to fucking stream some nights. I just don't have it in me. I mean, even when I was working though, like I just didn't, I didn't have many problems like getting on. Like, okay, 8 o'clock, I could get on if I really wanted to, but I just didn't have the energy or just didn't have the the thing behind it. But what I was gonna say related to what Jamel was talking about earlier, I heard a quote recently, or I just heard somebody talking about this recently, and it was something that I guess is appropriate for this conversation, and it's that if you want to do something and what we're talking about, how this is a passion project, if you want to get into something, if you can't see yourself dedicating 10 years of your life without monetary or notoriety or whatever, if you could sit there and say to yourself, I could do this for 10 years without any of that, then that's a passion. If you can't, then that is not something that you should be doing with your life, because at some point you're going to get tired of it, you're going to walk away from it. So with everybody that's in here and everybody that's in our group and everybody that we know for the most part, it is a passion, but make sure it is one for you, and whatever it is that your passion is, to make sure that it is something that you're going to enjoy for a long period of time, because the big thing is to not expect the accolades, not to expect the fame and notoriety and money and all that shit. I am doing this with literally like no money now, and nothing to do. And, I could sit here and say like, I'm not getting paid for this and it's not working out for me in that aspect. So like that, I kind of should just give up and start looking at doing something else. But honestly, that's where your passion comes in. If you honestly believe that it's not about, getting through that or whatever, not having those issues and going through those things, or having those issues and going through those things, but not having a problem with it. That's the big thing. So again, 10 years. If y'all don't want to do something for 10 years, then just don't even get into it, because this is the type of thing that, like, I realize gaming is something that, is streaming gaming and watching gaming is something that hasn't, fully taken off yet to the capacity it could. It's getting there, and whether or not that ceiling means that we start declining from there, I don't know, but I believe in it, and I think everybody else in here believes in it too. But so it's one of those things that, like, I haven't had an issue saying that I needed to balance any of this, because in the end, like, I know this is for something better. I mean, my thing is, we just went through Mother's Day, right? I can bring this up because I was thinking about it the other day. My mother went through a lot of shit, right? Like, only single mother, living in a really bad neighborhood. Our car got broken into like 5 times in one summer. That's how bad this place was. Like, it was really fucking annoying, by the way, when the window keeps fucking getting smashed in and shit keeps getting taken. But either way, she worked nights. She worked weekends. She worked all these different hours to get us out of there and get us into a better place. And when I see things like that, and I see people like that worked as hard as they did to get themselves out of terrible situations, I realize that I'm not in one, and I can sit here and say I have all these fucked up things happening, but in the end of the day, it's, you can't do any changing if you don't want to be the one that changes, right? Like, you can't be sitting there saying to yourself, I want to do this or I want to do that, if you're not putting in the effort to do it. So my thought is you only have yourself to blame if, you're not doing this or that or whatever, if you're not doing what you want to do. So that's my thing. I've been trying to be better about it, as far as managing or streaming and being more consistent on things. My big issue, and Will knows this better than anybody, is that I can't put myself in a schedule, and I need to. So that's my big thing, is, I guess, in the sense of, managing this and balancing it, is that my big issue with that is that roughly 7, 8 o'clock at night, all I want to do is watch a TV show or something, and like, that's the time when I feel like, not necessarily that 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock is the absolute like finite time when you're supposed to be getting people and you have to be on during that time, but like, that's the time when I want to be on. But every time I get to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, I'm like, fuck this, I just want to watch a TV show or something like that, So it does become an issue from that.
And the thing is, too, like, maybe a lot of people don't realize this who don't stream or don't really hear that much from streamers about this, but especially if you're going to strive for growth, it's something that I still struggle with. It's something that I still experience, and I'm still I've been streaming for a while, and I still feel like I'm still not really hitting that stride. Like ultimately, some days, some nights, I get a ton of people coming into the stream, and some nights, like not that many.
You gave me 25 people last night.
I mean, but sometimes there's so much prep work that goes into putting up a successful stream. This comes down to ensuring that the audio is getting routed to OBS properly, or whatever streaming platform you're using. Ensuring that the game is updated and running properly before you even go live. Ensuring that you've updated all of your information before you even go live. Going on every social media platform that you can think of and letting people know that you're live. Going on Discord, making sure the plug section of people's Discord channels, you're putting content in there. People look at that stuff. They take a look. They're like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Let me go check that out. And then going to other people's channels and watching. I never do this necessarily to get viewers, but I've noticed that it's been really helpful. And that is to go on other people's Twitch channels and actually just engage with them and talk and chat. And oftentimes the streamer will be like, hey, what have you been playing? And you can always just say, I've been playing this, that, and the third. I do my best to not say I've been streaming this and I'm live right now, because that's just not cool. People don't like that. But I just connect with people and just kind of have a casual conversation, and then the next thing I know, somebody follows me from that chat room. I'm just like, what? That's fucking crazy. So, if anything, I know Will has a porn nickname. That's great. But there's a lot that goes behind every single stream. You have to figure out what you're gonna play, what can you play for a really long time. If you switch games too often, then people coming in are gonna be disoriented. They thought you were playing Marvel vs. Capcom, but now you're playing fucking Rainbow Six, and like they're very different games. So there's a lot that goes behind it.
And that's another thing that really becomes a challenge, is like you sit there. This actually is the best example, because last night, and for pretty much every night for the last week and a half, I've said to myself, okay, I'm going to play Persona 5. This is going to be the moment. I'm going to play it right now. And then I get on Twitch or something, and then I see like, Jarhead or whatever, shout out to Jar, or whoever playing Player Unknown or some shit. And then I'll just jump on that instead. Or I have a friend who plays Ghost Recon Wildlands, and he'll be like, yo, get on. And I'm just like sitting there like, I really want to play Persona, but then I just end up playing something else. And the main thing behind that is that, like, I don't know how long I can sit there and play Persona 4 on stream. Not because it's a bad game, it's hard to, talk and do shit when you're playing an RPG like that, right? So, but it's one of those things that, like, I've been streaming for so many, whatever. I've been streaming for a while now, and all you want to do is put the shit on stream, because like I feel like anytime that I'm playing a game and I'm not streaming or I'm not recording, that's always when the cool shit happens. So I always stream everything, and that's when you just get to the point where like you don't want to play certain games because you're streaming and you don't feel like streaming that at that moment. That's a struggle.
Yeah, it is a struggle. It's something that at least I've talked about before on my own stream, is kind of finding that balance between like playing a game that's really fun for people to watch versus like what you might want to play. And you'd be surprised sometimes what people will be interested in watching. Like I remember when I was playing Fallout a lot, people wanted to see me build stuff. They didn't want to see me like going out and like shooting people in the face. They wanted to see me build stuff. Yeah, and I was just like, I'm more than happy to do that. I just didn't think that was a thing. I didn't think people wanted to see it. But you'd be surprised sometimes what people are interested in seeing, especially if you're kind of engaging with them and being you. It can be one of those really cool things. And Jamail, I would say for sure, make sure you figure out a way for people to be able to hear the other people on the channel, because sometimes, I'll just talk about
That'd be killing me.
Yeah, as a viewer, I'm just like, man, like I really wish I could hear, even though they're probably saying some ignorant shit.
For that, I have a reason.
Oh, I know what your reason is, but you might want to try just once. Just try it.
Wait,
just try it.
We might have to say this offline, but is there something that you could say related to that?
To tell them to shut up?
Oh, with them. No,
No,
because my thing is like you have the Xbox, right? Your main focus is the Xbox. The Xbox chat is on the computer, so like if you have OBS open and shit, like it's already there.
well, no, it really depends. So when you do through OBS, it's not that I don't know how to. My reason is that I choose not to. Sometimes I do when I stream. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending on what we're playing. But a lot of times, like I said, we've been playing with each other. We've been playing games with each other for over a decade. So at this point, there are people in the party that aren't even playing the same game we are, and we just talking shit to each other. Yep. And I'm talking about talking shit to the point where, like, sometimes I really hate y'all.
Hey, I be getting into some shit with some people that I play 2K with, though. So I think it's better to have them talking than not, though. You know what I mean? Like, when you're sitting there and you're just, like, staring at the screen, and then all of a sudden you're like, right, I know what you mean. I know, right? Oh, man, yeah, I know, for real. You're just like, bro, this is a one-sided conversation. Like, you're no less annoying than the dude on the train sitting there talking on the fucking phone. Like, you're just a one-sided conversation. It gets fucking annoying.
That sounds like somebody who like to be nosy. I don't need to know what they talking about.
No, that's the thing, right? You could like do that in privacy. Like that's no, believe me, I ain't nosy. I don't want to hear it at all. But if I'm gonna hear it, I don't want to hear one side, because like that's boring. Like that's fucking annoying when you hear this one person yapping. Like your voice be getting hella annoying. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez, savage.
But no, I do like that Xbox does that thing now with the new update where like you can see on the top corner of your screen the people talking.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool. Like that's I don't know, that's interesting to me, that little development that they had.
It's cool, but I don't really think it's something that was necessary. Like, because it's been out this whole week, and like everybody that turns it on that I know, like, man, I'm turning this shit off. I'm tired of it already. I don't even see y'all talking
in the corner. Like, do you see it too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
no, you turn it on yourself. So when you turn it on, it just shows whenever someone's breathing, whatever they're doing.
Whenever they're breathing.
It's good to know like when to kick someone out of the party sometimes, like if there's some noise. But I mean, you could always do that by just opening up the party chat anyway. You see the light around the circle. So I mean, it's not
more for convenience, but then also for like streaming though, right? Like streaming, you're going, oh, that person's talking or this person's talking. That's mainly what it's used for. It's not so that you guys can feel like you need to boot people faster. It's just mainly it's for like streaming and shit.
Right.
It depends. I feel you. That's a good application of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that was the main thing. That's why it's such a like, you know, hit you so hard over the head with this shit, because it's like, oh my god, bro, you're one-sided. They've made it infinitely easier for you to have this shit. As I thought it was just that you didn't know, or that you had no idea about the chat thing on the computer.
Nah,
like legit. That's all I thought it was originally.
Nah, he knows how to do it. He knows. He's lazy, and he doesn't want people to hear their foolishness.
Censor my friends.
He can't censor his friends. That's what it is.
You don't need to censor his friends.
Nah, I mean, some of them
part is when you have some silly shit happening though, right? Like when you're with some goofy ass motherfuckers and they're saying some shit, like it's fun to be part of the boys, right? So like that's the big thing, is if you got a group of friends, like that's how you get more people to watch. They want to be included. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but my stick is not to be the heel, okay? I don't need to be part of the jokes. That's not, nobody goes, I'm not trying to have people come to Dream Manifest Church so they can see his friend talk shit. That's not what we do.
That's fun, though. I want to. I want to.
He said he's not lying. Yeah, so what we're going to do, we can definitely continue this. I'm going to let people know that I have a few more codes for Lawbreakers, the Lawbreakers beta, and I want to do you guys the honor of giving you a code. So I'm actually going to open up the giveaway for that right now. I'm going to put the game code in there. All you're going to have to do is type in !Lawbreakers in order to obtain it. It's going to run for 15 minutes. Let's start it. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we've kind of dropped into this idea of offering advice and, ways to help us improve our streams. Actually want people in stream to give us feedback as well, like not only just this stream right now, but streams in general, especially if you've seen everybody's streams before, I'm actually going to give a link once again. Cast. Yeah, there we go. Where people can go, they can check everybody's streams out, and please, everybody, go follow these three lovely gentlemen that we have on the podcast. What are things that you guys like to experience in streams and like to see, and things that you look out for, or things that you might have seen in our streams that you wish we could be doing a little bit differently? I'm always looking for ways to improve the quality of my streams, and I think these guys are always looking for that as well. So feel free to leave that feedback. But we talked about schedules, for example. We talked about like how kind of important a schedule is, not for any other reasons other than just making it easy for people to get to your stuff. If they know for sure that, you know, you're going to be streaming at around 8 o'clock during these certain days, and it's like super easy for them to just jump in and start, you know, talking that good shit.
Get that loyalty though. Get the loyalty behind it. Like, consistency is key. Communication. You were talking about that earlier.
Communication, right? So going on all the other platforms and just like talking to people. No, someone asked, is he frozen or just really good at staring contests? No, he's good. That was pretty good. We do have some questions that are in the chat though, that I think I wrote down, and then I totally fucked up and deleted by accident. One of the questions was pertaining to VR. And we've talked about VR a bunch of times. I think both Ikarush and KKosaurus, I think both of you guys have PlayStation VR.
Yes.
Yep.
So now that the honeymoon phase is kind of settled down, what do you think about the platform, and what do you think it needs to do to further improve or succeed, or et cetera, et cetera?
I mean, I think it's exactly what I said before I got it, and why I was hesitant to get it is there's a lot of potential there. Like, it's a great system. There's still just no games. Like, most things that come out are still just like experiences, because it costs a lot more money and takes a lot more time to make a VR game, so they aren't making full games. There just needs to be more games.
Yeah. Do you think there is going to be a definitive future in VR?
I know that I've heard both sides. I know that right now there isn't that much in development, so like there's still not that much being talked about, which makes me think no. I think that it's just a gimmick again, despite everybody saying this time it wasn't going to just be a gimmick. I think people are starting to move towards AR, and I think that is probably what we're going to see.
I hate augmented reality. That's the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
Why do you hate it?
Reality. Because I'll just get some fucking action figures if I really want to play some shit out like that. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't care about what's behind me when I'm playing a game. Like, fuck that nonsense. Augmented reality is dumb.
But how do you feel about augmented reality outside of gaming?
I don't know any other applications other than like fucking Pokemon Go.
Well, I mean, how many times have you watched a sci-fi movie and in the war room or the strategy room or anything else have you, whether it be even in the store, you have these screens where you're touching, like shit, Iron Man,
I want that.
Avatar, anything.
Okay, sure, like that.
That's AR.
All right, sure. That would be, I don't know, I guess interesting, but like, I don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever. But to go back to what Kev was saying, he's 100% right about the VR shit. I think it's novelty, to be honest. And to answer your question related to what it's going to be about these days, I think it's going to honestly turn into just the experience machine. Like, and to be honest, it's cool, but only for so long. So like the Batman game was pretty cool, but it was like 3 hours long, right? There's shit like that that's kind of cool. I don't know. The thing is that like with PSVR, for instance, the resolution isn't great. The quality of the games have been.
Well, I heard that roller coaster. There's been a couple of like standout stuff. The Batman thing, Until Dawn roller coaster thing.
Yeah, that one's cool.
I heard that was amazing.
That was pretty.
And what is the one that I played? I can't remember it now.
London Heist.
Totally frozen. No, that one is good. But
Yeah, it's okay. But...
was it Rez?
Oh,
Rez.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, Rez. Also,
Yeah, that was phenomenal, but it took like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's stuff, but they're all like little bite-sized stuff.
Yeah. But I like to get like I expect you to die or something like that. Something along that.
Let
name.
It Die?
No. I expect you to die or something like that. It's like a spy. You're like a spy or something, and then there's all these things getting thrown at you to kill you. Like you have to react really fast to do things. I don't know. It's weird. It's cool though.
I wouldn't care that all the games are only 3 hours if they weren't still like $50.
Yeah.
And that's a gift and a curse, right? I guess. But
did either of you play Resident Evil 7 on VR?
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is on VR. I never played it, but I saw that there. There's a few The other thing that people aren't taking into account is there's a lot of issues with motion sickness and that shit. So like, even if you do like it, like I played, Eve, and I'm trying to think about the other one I played. I don't know,
Star Wars thing.
Yes. The Star Wars thing is where it started for me. Actually, I played the Star Wars Battlefront, whatever the X-wing VR mission, and I felt sick as fuck after playing that. And same thing happened with Eve. Eve is even worse because like Eve did a really good job with its sound mechanics. So like, you have the headphones on like this, right? And you're just like completely immersed in the thing. Well, when you're shooting, like you're seeing all the lights from the guns going off on the side, but then also like you're hearing it booming in your fucking ears, just like you would be in the ship. So it really fucks with you. The whole thing fucked with me, dude. I like the VR concept, but like more towards the simpler shit because it's less demanding on my mind to fucking understand.
Right.
I actually got I need to play the Psychonauts VR game. I have it and I never played it.
Oh, that sounds.
I started it. It's fun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's cool.
First game, or is it just a novelty VR version of?
I didn't get that far into it. It seems a lot like the first game, just like an adventure game, like a point and click.
Yeah, right. I do like that though. They have other game. I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember playing it on the VR. There was one that's like a platformer, and that is kind of cool. Like having that, because like the view that you were in was like this view of like almost like God. And you're looking down on this platform, like this animal creature thing doing a platform, and so yeah. That I thought that was a pretty interesting concept, platforming on VR, but that's about it.
Blackhound has mentioned something kind of interesting about it too that I never even thought about, which was the thing that bothers me about these AAA games in VR are the cutscenes that are just straight up take you into a black box with a screen display.
Yep.
That kind of sucks. It'd be cool to like in the cutscene to just look around and like look around. I mean, obviously the artists have to build the assets for that, but like.
Yeah, but like they made an entire movie like that. I don't remember what the name of that thing was, but the first person shooter movie or whatever, there was like a VR version of that.
Oh, really? I think I remember hearing about the movie.
Something. Yeah, there's definitely a movie in VR. I know that for a fact. I just don't remember what it's an action movie. I just don't know the name of it. But.
I feel like the big thing PlayStation VR specifically needs to do in order to capitalize on the market, there's two things. And I'm probably not alone in thinking this. One, they need to make it compatible with PC. They just need to have an adapter that lets you use it on PC. Because, like, obviously the market is for PlayStation, duh. There's a bunch of people who don't play on PlayStation who like the idea of a less expensive VR option. Even if it's not going to be as, high resolution as the Oculus or the Vive. They still want it. So they should do that, I think. Two, they're going to have to figure out that porn shit. They're going to have to figure that out because there is a huge market for porn. I checked out lootgamer.com just to see, checking it out, seeing what it was like.
Sure.
And research, exactly.
Research, yeah.
See? And like it it took you to like there's like a whole section. There's a whole fucking website that's all about not even just VR porn, like VR game porn, if that makes sense. And it's just like
porn.
Like 3D rendered porn that's just all
just
VR.
Like looking down and you're smashing.
Basically, but like you can like there's all this other interactive stuff that you can do, so you can like press a button to like have them do these other different things. It's like I know Sony probably doesn't want to attach themselves to something like that, but
Leisure Suit Larry?
But if they really want to penetrate this market in a way that goes outside of these little, gimmicks, 2-hour experiences, I haven't really been seeing them, aside from Resident Evil 7, maybe a few other titles, I haven't really been seeing them really going hard at any one thing. If they offered that to people at a reasonable price, like what they're doing with the VR, at least in essence, man, listen. Listen.
I mean, it just comes back to the resolution, though, because like that was the biggest issue with me was the game. It feels like it's taking you out of the experience more with the lower quality of resolution. Mm-hmm. And that's unfortunately the issue with a cheaper model, is that you're not getting that same quality. Honestly, for the PC, the Oculus I think is only like $100 more than the VR, PSVR.
Really? I thought it was $2.
It might be $2. And now that I was just about to say, or it might be $2. But it's not that much more expensive. And honestly, I think that the Oculus and the HTC are just miles ahead of it. Look, it's a good product. It's a fun novelty. But yeah, unless you're like super into fucking Eve or super into Battle Tanks or whatever the fuck that game was called, then there's really not much to play.
Well, I still use it in theater mode a lot too. I got it partially because I live with roommates who occasionally hang out in the living room, and this lets me play a game while they're on the TV. So I still use that. I also still have a problem where if I play for too long, it just gives me a headache.
Yeah, that's 100% the issue.
And I don't even think that's the VR so much as just the helmet. And I think that that's any VR helmet.
It might be the helmet, but honestly, I heard that resolution makes the difference. But like for your eyes, for your mind, like all of it, like it's that lower quality to it than a normal standard VR nowadays is disorienting. It really is.
Mm. And Blackhound actually said you guys are aware of the dick controller, right? There's a controller apparently that or maybe it's just a peripheral. I know about this.
Say the pun though.
Oh yeah, no. I actually didn't really do these puns on purpose. Penetrate the market, going hard. I didn't do that on purpose, but now that it's there and I said it, I feel like a genius. But that's like also a thing. Like there's like peripherals you can attach for like VR porn that just simulates whatever's going on in the porn. That's pretty dope.
But like why? Why?
And I hate to cut the short, guys, but I gotta get going. I'll catch you later.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. We're actually gonna go to our we're gonna bring the stream to a close actually. So what we'll do,
I will hang out then.
Okay, so that way I don't have to readjust anything. Everyone, thank you so much for being here, for being a part of this cast. I'm going to leave their information again so that you can follow them on social media, on Twitch, etc., etc. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we bring it to a close?
Nah, we good.
Chase your dreams, motherfuckers.
Chase your dreams. That is not a command. We are going to continue the action a little bit later. I have to go run some errands. I got to go do some grocery shopping. I got to shower, maybe work out a little bit. We're going to return to the action with probably some lawbreakers, and then we'll do some other things as well. So keep it locked here later. Appreciate you guys being here, and we'll catch you on the next podcast.